Hello, dear Starshines. Christina here with Rise of the Multidimensional Human and lightbodyacademy.com. Welcome to the Lunchtime Chats. For those of you who are new, my name is Christina. I am the acceleration expert, and we are here today to talk about issues and topics about things that are impacting us as way showers, as visionaries, as star seeds. And I'm here to share a liberated perspective with you about those kinds of topics and issues. So welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, we have a lot going on in the collective today, don't we? Yes, 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 indeed. Intensity, there's no shortage of that, no matter where you are in the spectrum of your awakening journey, I suspect. And I'm going to pour some tea and chill out for a second while our crew gets here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. When you're joining in, just say hello. Let us know where you're coming from. We have a very diverse group of people here. All of us resonate with the multidimensional perspective, but we all come from vastly different walks of life and cultures. So welcome, everybody. I'm so glad we can find our commonality here. Have some lovely traditional medicinal tea today. All right, I'm going to say hello to Soul Schooling. He says, looking forward to this. Thank you for all. Thank you all for sharing with us. Much love on your way. Love you, darling. Thank you for that. Hello, darling Laura. Hola. Christina and everyone. Tasha, welcome. Tony, welcome. Hodai, good morning, darling. Carol, hello, hello, hello. And then we have three greetings from Facebook users. One saying hello from Colorado. We have good evening from Norway, and a bunch of hugs and kisses. So thank you that for all of that. Oh boy, yeah, let's actually it's getting hot in here all of a sudden, isn't it? It is for me. So I'm gonna I did a big movement. We'll see if the camera clips back into view. If not, I'll exit and come back in again. Ooh, but I need to take off that scarf because it's already hot in here. All right, I'll pause and quit moving. Let's see if the camera comes back in focus. And then I will read off the topics for today. Let's see what it's deciding to do. I am being still. Come into focus. Abracadabra. All right, I'm going to exit and come back in real quick. It'll just take me 2 minutes, maybe less. There we go. All right, crystal clear again. I'll try not to make any big movements. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I'm so glad to be talking about these issues with you guys today. And thank you, everybody who chimed in with the things that they're feeling challenged with yesterday when I posted it to the group. All right, it's still blurry. We'll see if we can get it. We'll see if we can get it. Hold on. We're going to click into view. I'm going to do something. I'm pretty sure it's not something on my lens, but I'm going to do this anyway, just in case. Maybe that will help it click into view. Waiting for it to come back into view. All right, I'm going to exit and come back one more time. Okay. All right, we're back. Okay, I'm going to stop doing that now and go ahead and read our topics off for today. All right. So I was thanking everybody for responding to the post I put in the Rise of the Multidimensional Human group for the topics for today. I just really felt like the pool of topics that I had in front of me really weren't hitting the mark and like how we could be helping and supporting you guys. So thank you so much for responding. So I can it helped me zoom in on what's important, what's effective for me to talk about in the chat today. All right, so our topics are personal relationships, massive resonance changes, and the acceleration process. Oh boy. Yes, yes, yes. So this is when we are going through multidimensional, like another level awakening process really quickly. It impacts our relationships and it impacts the people that we have resonance with, and we need to navigate that in this world. So I'm super stoked to be talking about this. I think across the board, everybody is having some kind of flavor of this kind of dance with their relationships. And then we'll be talking about the ability to focus is the ability to wield power. And this also clicks into view the feeling, the experience of pandemic fatigue. This ties into that as well. And then we'll be talking about reclaiming our dream time, the birthing of a global shamanic paradigm. It's here, folks. It is absolutely here. And I'm super stoked to be opening the doors and making that come into view more clearly for y'all. So thank you for being here and for joining these talks. All right. And we have our folks here. Hello, hello. Okay, I'm going to have to move to grab my markers here. Hello, hello. All right, I have to move slowly so I don't go blurry on my feed. All right, here we are. We're going to go with green today because that's just the color that I'm vibing with right now. You guys don't know this, but in the room that I'm in, there's lots of plants, and I love working in the environment with lots of plants because it feels so good, and it's like there's a sense of the air being crisp and all this stuff, and you know, this is important that to be doing these little things that bring in subtle beauties, subtle, you know, nuances into your everyday moment experience. Right now, we are on a wild ride in the collective. Like, it's wild, right? And we're, you know, a lot of us are trying to figure out where we are with all that. What do we engage with? What do we don't engage with? Where's my purpose at? Where do I exist within this matrix of chaos? And, you know, there are amazing things coming through to this planet right now, okay? And all we need to do is get command of our nervous system, get command of our biosuit, our thoughts and emotions enough to focus in on those frequencies. And our systems will be very richly resourced. Okay, so number one priority in navigating the world right now is making sure you are deeply resourced, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Okay, you're getting all of the emotional food that you need, the connections with others in your immediate community. Okay, you are the social dynamics are there for you to feel at home in the world. Okay, that's all sustenance and food. And of course, there's mental stimulation. What do you feed your mind? Frequency. What kind of frequencies do you feed yourself? So there's lots and lots and lots of ways we nourish ourselves to keep us sustained and resourced. Okay, and it did go blurry, but I think it came back. Did it come back? Okay, I'll keep going. I think it's going to click into view. So you know, how we resource ourselves oftentimes is a journey of discovery, because we're not trained to recognize our needs on very deep levels unless we're paying attention. So we need to first allow ourselves to pay attention. Okay. All right, this is still getting blurry. Let's see. All right, maybe 3 is a charm. I'll be right back. Yeah, I think there's something going on with the broadcast stream, because in the backstage, it's crystal clear. It's just on the broadcast part that it's blurry. I'm not really sure what does that. Perhaps those bots, those internet bots that are being sicked after people. All right. Anyway, so resourcing. We need to make sure we're really properly resourced before we put ourselves in places where we're going to need to endure. Okay, endure stresses, endure interactions, endure whatever the toxic stuff is. You see what I'm saying? We are being fed poison in every direction, and we need to back up enough to understand that it's our choice to allow ourselves to be fed by those sorts of things. Okay. A lot of times it doesn't feel like a choice because there's a big inertia of lots of mental and emotional activity. And that is actually like a wave that's pushing us in a different direction, or a current that pushes us in a particular direction. So that's what's happening on the bigger scale here. And I'm going to do the activation very differently than I have in the past because, things accelerate, and we embrace that. The more we can embrace our acceleration, it's like ripping the Band-Aid off quickly. The quicker we can get back on our feet and move forward. And this is the thing. And I had this lovely conversation with the Star Shine yesterday. It's like, how do I not get knocked over? How do I keep my center? And quite frankly, these times, what's going on right now, it's not about being that strong oak tree, keeping your center no matter what. It's more about being that blade of grass that every time you get flattened, you come back up. Okay. Every time you get knocked down, you get back up. That's more the name of the game right now, especially dealing with collective energies. Okay, so this chart that I just drew, this little graphic here, this comes from a model brought forward by a Cherokee record keeper named Barbara Ann Clow. What she did was had an awakening to an aspect of her that was simultaneously incarnating in the star system of the Pleiades. And in that awakening experience, a download happened, and this download had such a momentum to it. She was compelled to decode and unpack the zip file that it was. And this right here is one of those many things that emerged out of that zip file. It took many, many years of working with groups around the planet to do the 9-dimensional activation process in order for this to get flushed out. So she worked with groups, and I was in one of those groups for many years, a little bit less than a decade. One of the groups that gathered in Lilydale, New York. And this process of flushing it out, it's about, it's integrating it into the human experience. And in the act of integrating it into the human experience, it actually dissolves and sheds the blind spots that those humans have to their reality. And the big thing about this reality, the big assumption, if you were to have an assumption about this reality in order to really understand it, is understand that it's not what you think it is. The reality we're experiencing is not what we think it is. If you go in with that premise, then you're more available mentally, emotionally, spiritually to experience things for closer to what they truly are as they present, versus only seeing the things that you think and feel you want to see. You know what I mean? You're seeking validation. So now you're going to keep moving through the collective until you find the validation that you get. Doesn't matter if that person or that thing is actually truly validating. It's just that it fits the need, the nutrition, you're trying to get that food. It fits. So therefore you take it in. Okay. So we are trained bass backwards to be truly autonomous in our engagements with the world. And the chaos that's happening right now is just a testimony to that. So what we have here is the core of the earth. This is the heart, mind, beingness of the Pachamama. Okay. And that is an intense spin, life force focused. So it's a cosmic mother life force consciousness, focused and condensed into that iron crystal core that is the core of the earth. Now this is a conscious being that all of this the rest of the reality is unfolding from. We're quite literally sprouting out of her head as creations. Okay. This is the core of the earth. I know I'm speaking about it all very differently today. is we need to keep shifting our perspectives here. We're awakening to something on a massive level. And those of us who have been doing our work all this time, we are the ones that actually, this is a good journey. This is a journey that we get to experience as a liberation versus an experience of the dark night of the soul. Not that there's not pain, not that we're not enduring suffering. I don't mean this at all, but we're not getting rocked like a lot of the humans out here are getting rocked, the ones that are still in their programs. Okay. So we are, we have the encodements for the new earth. We are the visionaries of the new earth. We do not need to invest our energy, unless for some reason we do in some moment, to combat these old ideas. Okay, right? We are here to focus our energy into what it is that we want, because we know we are the ones who are creating everything. Okay, so some of us aren't quite congruent with that being the reality. Some of us, yes, I know I'm a creator, but I'm also not. It's like there's this helpless, powerless part of us that is not congruent with that understanding that you truly are a creator. And that's just because that reality hasn't integrated yet. It's bumping up against, different things in these other levels. But let me continue with the Pachamama. So this core being that I'm calling Pachamama, Mother Earth, she is the foundation fabric that we are unraveling, or traversing the reality. We are quite literally in the realm of the mother. That's what Pachamama means, realm of the mother. So we came here to participate intentionally in the realm of the mother, to create our dream in her dream. Okay, so it's a nesting doll within a nesting doll kind of relationship. Now, with the yes for being here with the Pachamama, with the yes to unfold a reality of your choosing within the realm of the mother, you are given a biosuit. And this biosuit is a highly sophisticated, hyperdynamic, trans-dimensional vehicle. It's a profound, profound vehicle. And we have a sense, while we're in this vehicle, we can have a sense of our infinite being, who we really are on an essence level, and experience that separation at the same time. And all of the outer world that we perceive as outer is given to us by the data sets that our body translates to us. Okay, so it's like we have to put on this suit in order to experience this 3D reality. Without the suit, we're no longer immersed in the 3D reality anymore. Okay, so our biosuit is a reflection of the realities, the nature of the telluric realm. The telluric realm is the realm of atoms and molecules. So there's a language of electricity exchanges, right? The whole covalent bonding thing, like there is a language that's going on there, and you're having interactions on a molecular level. And then those molecules come together, they become organized into a cellular reality. And again, that cellular reality is interacting with its environment via ionic charges, right? And there's a wonderful scientist named Bruce Lipton that put forward this wonderful work about it's really the outer cells of the body that are creating the health or disease of the cell, because that's what's choosing to bring in from the outside world. Okay, so there's this idea that thoughts, beliefs, and emotions are informing the health of a cell. Okay, that kind of level of exchange. And then all those cells come together to create tissues. All those tissues come together to create organs, and the organs come together to create systems. So you have all these layers of different kinds of realities that feed into the beingness of each of these systems. Okay. Our biosuit is a collection of many systems put together. So there's many layers of reality participating in the existence of this biosuit. Okay, so the telluric realm in this model is everything between the core of the earth and the crust. everything that's in what we might call the underworlds. And those of us who've studied shamanic traditions, we know that there's way more here than just the underworld. There's crystal cities, there's extraterrestrial consciousness, there's interdimensional beings, there's lots of realities within realities that are in this world. And this is also so for our biosuit as well. Our biosuit houses many kinds of realities within it. This is why you can travel and go into interstellar communications with beings by simply dialing into the rhythms with your rhythms of the body. Okay, so there's the ideas of stargates around the planet. There's stargates on the crust of the earth, but there's also stargates within the earth. This is so. Same thing with our biosuits. Our biosuits can contain stargates. What are stargates? Stargates are apertures that open up and allow through stellar consciousness. And these stellar consciousness grids actually create networks of reality. It starts contributing into the environment of the cells. It starts contributing into the electrical organization of all the ways those things are stimulated, all right? It starts to contribute into our reality. So stargates are essential for the rise in consciousness on this planet, both inside and externally. And then we have our 3D reality right here. This is, a plane flies across the sky. This is, throw a rock and gravity pulls it down. The other things that we have put on top of our reality are some rules, regulations, laws. Okay, and these laws that we're talking about are invisible, yet they are participating in the creation and the experience of our 3D reality. So there's lots of different kinds of laws you can look at. Some people follow the laws of abundance or the laws of manifestation, those kinds of laws. Okay, those are not tangible laws, yet when you step into the matrix of that belief system, now that matrix can contribute into the experiences of your 3D reality. Okay, so this is an invisible force that impacts us absolutely, but yet it is not tangible, as in it doesn't have a cell, an atom that represents it in the 3D world. What represents it in our 3D world are our thoughts and our ideas. Our thoughts and ideas are what this 4D field is all about. And this 4D field absolutely impacts the 3D experience. Also, Einstein talked about time being a fourth dimensional part of nature. And it is. The rub is that the control systems that we have on this planet have a whole bunch of artificial time constructs overlaid on that organic time. So now we divide our time. We divide our time by years, by months, by weeks, by days. And the way that they're divided is all energetically weaving in these higher levels of existences. So, for example, dear sister Starshine posted this really cool video of a hermetic teacher talking about the geometry of 7, and it was fascinating because he actually was able to tie in the vibrations of the planets into dividing up our 3D reality. It was really cool. So if you get a chance to check it out, it's in the Rise of the Multidimensional Human group. Let's see. It was, I think it was dear sister Christy that posted it. And here's adding another layer. So we have our collective ideas, thought forms, beliefs, and all this stuff that's informing our 3D reality. But now we also have these other dimensions of these other levels of who we are that which are nesting dolls creating our experience as well. Okay, so we have the 5th dimensional plane, which is where linear time dissolves and time becomes cyclical. Okay, everything becomes immortal and never dies. It just cycles in and out of different kinds of realities. Okay, and the other thing that we find in the 5D field is the Akashic records, the recording of all the different constructs and stuff that we've created here in this field. It also has all these different events, agendas, and ideas and beliefs and vows and all this other stuff that's accumulated over our soul's journey. The perception of having many incarnational experiences. Now, whether you see those incarnational experiences as past or future or parallel or alternate doesn't really matter, okay? Because the fact is that you can change anything that is within the Akashic field. You can unravel things that are perceived to have happened 100,000 years ago. You can undo decisions that were made in a whole nother existence of that you've had that's impacting you here and now. Okay, so you can completely step out of the linear idea and the ideas of separation by working with the energies within the Akasha. I highly encourage people to clean up the energies of the Akasha, because this will help you enhance your connection into your ability to download data and transmissions through the Dreamtime. Because we have all these hangups that are held up, all these entanglements of our quantum held up within these records of the 5D very often. Not always, but very often. And when people go in to clear an Akashic record, this is what they're doing. They're looking for specifically the string of events within the records that contribute into something in your everyday reality for being so. Okay. All right. Now let's keep going. So now we have the 6D field. This is the light body, but this is also the light geometry that is the morphic field from which things and form arise. Okay, it is a morphic field. So when you have David Wilcock did many years ago, when he was really all over that one Russian scientist's work, where he was actually transferring DNA by shining light through an embryonic egg into a void space, into a vacuum, a petri dish that was a vacuum, and by that light passing through the embryo, it would actually the DNA would start to arise within the vacuum. Okay, so what allows things to arise out of nothing? This morphic field, this light body, the light geometry that is the organizing force of our atom, cells, molecules, that actually pulls it in to our 3D reality. And the other thing that comes out of this morphic field is the kinds of unfoldments you have in your soul's journey. So if you shift and change the frequency, if you shift and change the geometry of your morphic field here, you shift and change the kinds of lifetimes you have here. And then you'll shift and change the kinds of constructs that are coming into your mental, emotional 4D field. Okay. All right. And then we have the 7D field that also comes into our reality, and this is the relationship we have with frequency and sound. Now, cymatics has exploded in the collective, and this is because something inside of us has opened up to another level to this part of our being. This is also what I call the stellar networks, the star knowledge, the actual beings that are stars talk to us. Absolutely, they do. And when you are connected in your dream time, this becomes more and more a part of a reality that is the truth for you, because like stargates, the consciousness of these beings having contact with you are transferring knowledge. They're transmitting. They're giving you transmissions, encodements, okay, for adding things into your reality. So this is a really essential aspect to dreaming our world into being, is being able to connect with this aspect of our being within our dream time. And then we have the all that is. The all that is of course the I am, right? This is what a lot of people will perceive as God. Unfortunately, there's a whole bunch of crap through here that's completely hijacked our relationship to the I am presence, all these mystery school distortions and lies within lies, all that power over dynamic stuff. So unfortunately, there's a lot of confusion when it comes to the idea of God, the idea of the all that is. And one of those big distortions is the concept of being a sinner. Okay. And it's because no matter what quality of a human being you are, this is a fabric that runs through your very being. You cannot exist without this base fabric being there, just like you couldn't be in this 3D world without the Pachamama being here, right? So there's absolutely zero impact of the quality of your creation in your relationship to this energy. I know. It's like, what? Right? So it's really important to realize that unconditional love, take that awareness to a whole nother level. It is absolutely unconditional. The scumbag down the road that does terrible things has the same fabric to the all that is that you do. Okay. The difference is that you are aware. They are not. Okay, he's playing out a drama, or she is playing out a drama that they need to play because of, the morphic fields and the stuff happening here and the stuff happening here. Okay, so this is a little bit of this is a shift now, because now we're going away from the ideas about having to honor and worship a God in order to get favor or to be smiled upon. It's now that you are already within the smile of this being, of this aspect of you. You are already embraced completely by this aspect of you. Okay. And then we have the ninth dimension, which is the Madre de Dios, the Mother of God. It's also the center of the Milky Way galaxy and the doorway into the cosmic arena of reality. Okay, so that's significant because you can start reclaiming aspects of who you are beyond this universe. You can start coming in contact with aspects of who you are that have never been in any of these power over dynamics that are flowing right now. You can connect with aspects of who you are that is completely in harmony with the original intention of you being here in the first place. Okay, untainted, unchallenged, unconditionable. It's the aspect of you that I like to call the incorruptible. Okay. And once that doorway of your awareness touches that, liberation is now coming on full force, right? It's a floodgate at this point, and it's just a matter of surfing it. You might fall off the board a few times, but the surf is on, right? So this collective field right here, this is what the people who are still asleep to these different control systems, this is their game, all right? Those of us who have been doing this for a period of time and are woken up to another level of what's going on here, we don't need to participate in this game. There's no obligation. Why? Why is there no obligation? Shouldn't we be caring about our fellow men? Yes, we do. But just like when you're on an airplane and it loses its pressure and you put it in your air mask, you need to make sure you put your own air mask on before you start helping other people. So you need to first make that commitment to setting your own world up to nourish you in the way you need to. Make sure that's handled. Be here now, grounded in the moment with your body, right? Be here now like that, fully imbued and nourished. And then you will have the strength and the endurance to actually go out and make contact with the others who are in extreme suffering. You guys get what I'm saying with that? It is so essential. And there's this false humility program that's been woven into the new age world that is like, it's a kiss of death. It's like people can't take care of themselves. They don't want to take care of themselves. They just want to give and give and give until they're completely depleted. And I understand that there's suffering going on, but you need to recognize when you are depleted and honor that biosuit that you're walking around in, because it's working hard for you, right? This biosuit is under a lot of strain and pressure right now, and we need to take care of it if we want to continue. Because really, this whole Corona thing is far from over. This whole social unrest thing is far from over. And there really are things that are happening where you have to be well-resourced in order to have the strength to navigate. Because we are here to envision the world that we want to have, not continue the game of letting all these constructs inform us what our reality should be. Okay? So we focus on our community, we focus on our social connections, we focus on our friends, we focus on what it is, when you wake up from morning till the time you go to bed, how much of your bandwidth are you spending on what you truly want? What you really want for your life, that's taking you a step further in that direction of the dream you have for yourself. Maybe you've always dreamed of having an amazing garden of permaculture that like has unimaginable yields. Then do that, right? Absolutely. maybe your vision is to communicate and create bridges of understanding between different groups of people. Okay, do that. But if you're allowing your attention and your focus to get hijacked into all these different dramas going on, you are now joining you're participating now on the team that's pulling that level of reality into being. Okay. Once you are really solid and you don't feel guilty not participating in the drama, you can say no in a much, it'll be so easy to be like, nope, not interested. Sorry, I'm not doing it. But sometimes, we have our stories, like what I said in the chats last week. It's like we have these things that we tell ourselves that we convince ourselves are true on the reason why we're tuning in, but really none of it's true. None of that, those reasons that we have in our head are accurate. All right, let me keep going. I need to get back to the relationship thing, the personal relationships. Okay, so personal relationships. Who you were a month ago is not who you are now. Can we agree on that? Do you guys feel that's true? Or who you were last year is not who you are right now? Okay, first feel what that's like. And while you do that, I'm going to check in. I think I see a comment here. I'm going to go ahead and read it off. Hello, dear Tasha. Thank you for that. Hi, Polly. How you doing? All right. Facebook user says self-esteem boosters are hitting the plant now. My voice is so much bigger and stronger than I have ever thought. Love for all. Yeah. Okay. You meant planet. Yeah. So, yeah, I would say go even beyond the self-esteem piece, that let yourself have the unconditional fabric. And once you feel the depth, not recognize in the head, but like feel the depth with the other senses of your being, that is something that becomes unshakable, and it's a resource. And those resources that you're filling yourself with, you are in the process of filling yourself with, resourcing like this, you're actually changing the relationship to the external world. Imagine what it's like, approaching these certain challenges, feeling fully lifted and upheld, within, versus, oh, this again, or, being in a relationship of tightness and constriction because of the suffering you see going on. Right. So these pieces all work together to create a new tone within your being. And as this new tone is in your being, it's like you emanate that. And in the emanation of that, you will instantly start to resonate with others who also emanate a harmonic tone to that. And the tone that you emitted maybe, a year ago, 6 months ago, is different than what you're emitting now. And you're aware of it, and you're more sensitive to the resonance. And what happens is that not everybody is on that same wave that we are on. Some people are on a completely different wave in another direction. Other people are just at a different pace with the wave that they're riding. And a lot of those people are probably, in our lives, in our personal relationships. So what happens, and this is something that is difficult if you haven't been in a really long-term relationship, but this is something that I've learned from being in much longer term relationships, is that there's an ebb and there's a flow, and there's times when the resonance is really strong and it's there and it's great, and then there's a time when it feels very different. And because you are going through this resonance shift in a major way, okay, that ebb and flow seems much more juxtaposed. All right, but really what's happening is that resonance is shifting within you, and now you're recognizing the reversals that were in the mix of you guys being together. As in, there were certain things that you thought that you realize it's not how you thought. There's certain ideas you had about your partner that are actually not even true. Okay, so in this juxtaposition, when you are changing resonance big time, and maybe they're not harmonically following along with that juxtaposition is an opportunity for you to see and recognize those reversals that you have, but they have, right? There's things that, it's like that old adage of all the things that you loved about them when you were in love turn into all the things that you are annoyed by later, right? So this space that happens with that falling out of resonance is very important, because it's opportunities for us to wake up to other things that we didn't realize we were bringing into the relationship or wanting in that relationship. Okay, so our needs and wants are changing, and the more we wake up, the more we integrate with these aspects of who we are, our priority systems are changing, what we value changes, the way we want to spend our time changes, okay? So we have to honor that, absolutely. So that juxtaposition, again, is that opportunity to get clearer about what truly you want and what serves this next level of your being, like this. It's not, no need to make assumptions about what this person's going to do or not do, because that actually does not matter, because you're here to focus on what it is you need to be properly resourced so you can navigate your life. Yeah. So you focus on what you need to be properly resourced so you can navigate the life you want. And then the rest of this will start to sort out. Then what's happening is that the patterns that your partner is still embodying, they have a choice point on a soul level. Do they want to continue creating and being here in harmony with you? Do they want to keep frequency matching you? Do they, like this kind of thing? And when it's on a soul level, when it's a yes, that person's going to change. They're going to shift. And sometimes that shift can happen overnight. And they shift not because you've done any command, demand, or anything like that. They shift because something inside of them says it's time. And it's completely an inside act for them. And then the next time, if the next time happens, when that ebb and flow comes together, you guys can be at a whole nother level in your connection and relationship. Okay, but we need to allow the space for the shift to happen. We need to allow the space, because that space is where a person can have the breath and the moment to really feel how they're feeling, so they actually can make a decision from their inner compass versus the interaction on this level with you or with whatever else. It doesn't have to be with you. So we need to let go of our programming of what we think a relationship should be. We need to let go of what we think love should be. If that person really loved me, then they would do this, this, and this, and this. Bullshit. Not true. Not true at all. Those are all programmed ideas that are not the truth, and it actually suffocates and imprisons the person that you're in partnership with by holding them to that standard. Okay? I know I'm saying it like it is. Really, this is what we do. We don't know that we do that, but once you wake up to it, I guarantee you're going to be like, whoa, that's not the kind of partner I want to be. That's not the way I want to show up into a relationship, right? Because that's what truth does for people. It really shakes them enough where they can look at what's really going on and then have that clear choice point of what it is you actually want, what it is that you want in that dynamic. Okay. This 4D field has been very carefully cultivated for thousands and thousands of years, guys. The inception into our reality goes way back beyond what most people consider human history goes. All right. We have stories of ancient beings that roamed the earth, of giants, of titans, all this stuff. And these are truths that are alive now because there's stories that are alive now because there's something that's the truth within it. It's like our subconscious can't let it go. We have to have something representing that part of our story to us. Okay. Now, when the other thing that goes on here with this 4D field is that as soon as you get a whiff of a frequency and it resembles something that you've been told in the past, right? You're no longer experiencing the energy in its purity. You're now bottlenecking it with your mind, giving it a good, bad, right, or wrong. You're giving it a story of some sort. This is where humanity also is stepping forward or stepping out of, okay? When we are constantly referencing our past, we are not giving something new to emerge out of our moment. I know, right? It's difficult to let that sink in and really see your life through that lens. But once you do, it's going to it'll help a lot, because you're not obligated to keep recreating the reality. So remember, traveling through time. This is one of my favorite examples. Traveling through time. This is your DNA. Traveling through time from moment to moment to moment to moment to moment. Okay. And we have this idea in our head that traveling through time is like an arrow, and you're pretty much having to ride that momentum forward to each moment. But really what's going on is that our DNA dance can shift and change in a split second, right? And when that shift and change happens, now we have all these other timeline moments available to us, okay? So you can actually change your DNA dance in a split second with a simple decision on a soul level, and now you're dancing in a different moment. So you're recreating the reality over and over and over and over again. And it's totally possible to make a right turn. I don't like that reality. I'm going to go with this one, right? I'm going to go with this one. It's possible for your DNA to do that. But you have to take responsibility for everything that you do and you create. You have to take responsibility for your decisions. You have to take responsibility for your thoughts and your emotions. You have to take responsibility for all of that. And when I say responsibility, I don't mean by the measure of someone else's account. I'm talking about you understand that decision has an impact on your reality, and you take full responsibility for the impact. And what I mean by full responsibility for the impact is that you accept the consequence of what it is. It's not about good, bad, right, or wrong. It's not about maintaining a particular identity or facade or anything like that. It's all about your inner compass, not the stuff over here. So we're tricked into the game that we have to make sure that the people around us are happy with us, because they're going to hurt us if they don't. If we're too crazy, if we're too out there, something terrible is going to happen to us. Okay. And that was experiences embedded in our Akashic field. It was embedded in our Akashic field via the trauma dramas held by certain planets, the planet Mars, the planet Jupiter, the planet Saturn. Okay. All those beings have traumatic tales in their mythos. Yeah. Okay, so all this stuff is in one of those nesting dolls that comes in and forms our subconscious belief systems, and then we start building conscious belief systems on that foundation. So those nesting dolls within nesting dolls within nesting dolls. So the the idea that we have to reach out and help people, or we have to save the world or humanity, or have to speak out and all that stuff, it's like, not really. That too is a game if you're not using that self-referencing thing, So when you do it and you're using the self-referencing thing because there's some kind of synchronicity that's going to be the ripple effect, that's one thing. But it's another thing when there's like a sense of have to bear the burden, right? And say these things and endure these attacks. That's a reversal story. It's using your true nature for the desire to the well-being of the people to obligate you into doing something that's not good for you, that you don't actually want to do, right? Who wants to have to endure, attacks because they said something? No one. Now, there's people that feel like they really have to say something, and they know in doing that, they're going to have to endure an attack. Now, that's another kind of relationship, yeah? So in that kind of relationship, you can take ownership of you are the one who decides, and you can take ownership of the reason why you're doing it. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and keep going. Hello, Steiner. Hello, Facebook user. Good to see you guys. All right. Oh my gosh, time is just flying. All right. let me get to the, all right. So I've been talking about focusing on, using your ability to focus is using power. And this goes to why, in this 4D field and in this 5D field, there's so much distraction, so many constructs distracting our energy. Because if we were able to have a very clear, focused intent and follow through, we can change this world in an instant. We can change our experience in an instant. Okay. But the game is for us to stay dispersed and distracted so we don't come to that moment of focus. Okay. The kinds of things that can happen with the moment of that kind of focus is that you can experience a miracle cure within your body. You can experience the reversal of the dying process. You can experience a massive cascade of forgiveness through all of your lineages. You can, you know what I mean? You're open to the other realms of your being to wash realities through you. Okay. And when this is happening, translates to you having very deep connections in your dream time. The kinds of dreams that you have are no longer the petty little identity stuff. They're actually sacred dramas of the stars expressing themselves in relationship to you. Okay. That's what happens when you clean this stuff up and you're no longer in the I have to obligated story. You're now in responsible choice story. Okay. And the beautiful thing about pulling these frequencies through in our dream time is that nesting doll of reality. It's only a matter of time before it actually sinks in, percolates through the layers to manifest within our 3D. When you're pulling these frequencies in from these levels, synchronicity is king. That is what brings things to you. It's not because of how much you toiled or how much you suffered to make it happen. It's not about that anymore. It's now the synchronicities that bring you, and you following your courageousness and your passion in the moment to make the decisions in that moment, right? To move forward. What's next? What's the next step towards the dream? What's the next steps toward this reality that I truly in my heart space have a passion to create and participate in? Okay. So that focusing, we're learning right now as multidimensionals of how to retake charge of that and use it to our advantage and reclaim ourselves from all those distractions going on. Okay. Those of you also, there's another video that was posted in the Rise group by dear brother Ron that was a woman who studied with Carlos Castaneda. She was talking about Dreamtime. She had some really interesting things to contribute into that conversation. But the biggest thing is that a lot of what she talked about was the difference between a mundane dream and an energy generating dream. And what we do in the project is that we can actually track the source of dream time. So any dream and every dream has a rabbit hole where there's energy generation there. It's because we're making contact with these other aspects of who the person is in the dream realm that's behind the veils that's creating the dream. Okay. Now this is really important because the more you do this, the more synchronicity starts happening and exactly what you want comes forward for the life you truly want to live. Now tie this into the endurance of the pandemic fatigue, right? There are people who are in the medical field that are under immense stress and immense suffering, and a lot of people are having to come to Jesus, so to speak, moment within themselves and actually want out of their careers or want out of their jobs, and they manifest the synchronicity for that to happen if that's truly what they want. Okay. Now, some people have a different relationship and they want to stay in for other reasons. Now it's about getting clear on why you are staying in that field, what it is that you have to offer, what kind of impact you truly want to bring to the profession, to your shift or whatever. Okay. And stay focused on that. And right. And it takes a lot of strength to do that because you're walking into a field where everybody is resonating with something else that's not a true resonance match for you. Okay. So now you need to look at the decision to be in such a juxtaposed reality. All right. I hope this makes sense. If you can sustain it and maintain it, that's happening out of synchronicity. That's happening because some aspect of your being is in your spirit is supporting you in that, and you have all the endurance and strength you need. Now, if that's not the truth inside of your being, you're going to keep getting your ass kicked, unfortunately, until you make that decision that is in the truth of your being. That's how that goes. So neither decision is good, bad, right, or wrong, or direction or not direction. You are your compass. Only you know what your spirit is guiding you to do, and only you can decide what it is that you want to do in this world. So what's important to you and all that is a very personal decision. Now, the kinds of things that I choose to do are not the kinds of things that most people would choose to do. Does it make what I'm doing wrong? No. What would make me wrong is if I'm going against my truth, or I'm not truly passionate about what it is that I'm doing, or you know what I mean? That's the only thing that can possibly make me wrong, is me not being true to myself in what I'm doing. Okay, so if you can be in your shift, being true to yourself in what you're doing and being fulfilled, then that's a massive strength and resource, and you have now a stage for you to have an impact on your community. But if you're in conflict with that, and there's a lot of suffering going on, and there's a stuckness feeling with this, that has to get acknowledged too. And then again, get clear on why you're there. What's the why? And the synchronicities that come when you pull transmissions from these other levels of your being will provide that next opportunity to you to make that choice. A lot of times we have to face our fear. A lot of times we have to face our resistances. Our resistances are massive blind spots. It will actually blind us to something that is staring us in the face. So being really courageous within yourself and truly wanting the truth is a commitment to that is a big piece to, I think, in navigating with this. Resourcing ourselves is super important for all these reasons, but also for our health. I want to just give a little, not to fearmonger or anything like this, but the stress on our bodies is going to continue to escalate as we go through the year. So nourish yourself in all the ways that you need to nourish yourself to make yourself as strong as possible. So we have to amp up our self-care love game again. Now we were just, maybe we hit a pace and it was all good, but now we need to amp it up even more. So there's a really awesome, there's lots of awesome tools out there for us to manage our systems. Breathing exercises is a big one. I'm a huge proponent of the chi machine, because it supports my self-nourishment on so many levels, right? It makes it easier for me to nourish myself in more dynamic ways. So it's like it forces me to be focused for an entire half hour on a method of nourishing and healing and loving my cells, my bodies, my emotional field, mental field, all that stuff for a half hour. It's an obligation. I can't get out of it, right? It's like to be on that machine and be distracted is like impossible for me. So that's something that's the kind of level of support that I really need right now. So whatever your level of support you need, do a deep examination so you can really let yourself have it. Understand that the universe is here for you. You are a child of the universe. That's the truth first, before anything else. Everything you need is here for you. The reason why we would have lack going on is because we're not aware of certain levels of resources. That's the only reason. It's that small of a thing. It's this blind spot to where those resources are being offered to you, or where they are available, or where you can tap in. That's completely what lack is all about. The Pachamama, that's the reality. Abundance, beauty, okay? Synchronicity, interconnectedness. Those are all defaults to the realm of the Pachamama. Our interconnectedness is our defaults to what our nature is all about, right? So these pieces here have a flavor that inform the quality of our reality on so many levels. We just need to open up to it, which means we need to know how to open up our biosuit to these frequencies. So all these tools that we have are exactly for that, to resource deeper and deeper, more dynamic ways. And I'm sorry, I'm circling around this last piece. I'm having a hard time getting to it, with the reclaiming of our dream time. So the things that we nourish ourselves with, what we feed our minds, what we feed our electricity, what we feed our emotions, what we feed ourselves, what we take in to ourselves, has an impact on the quality of our dream time. Now, tell me if this has ever happened. Have you ever binge watched a show, like, I don't know, some show that's addictive? I've done this with like Star Trek Next Generation, right? And then the theme song or certain characters, whatever, will actually come into your dream time. Okay. That's because you fed yourself that light. You fed yourself that story. You invested your focus on that energy, and it came in and informed you in some way. And it's continuing to inform you, even though you're not in front of the TV getting programmed. Okay. So that is going to impact you. If you're really, twirling in your mind before you go to sleep, the things that you're spinning around in your mind are going to be in your dream time as well, because that's what you're feeding yourself. Now, people feel helpless. They can't stop feeding themselves that. Well, that's where the tools come in. You get a grip on your nervous system, right? You sedate your nervous system so the fight or flight shuts off, so the mind will slow down, all that kind of stuff. So there's that kind of reclaiming your dream time. But the other thing is the energy. Let yourself have contact with the energy of your dream. And that could, you could wake up. Most people do actually wake up with the energy of the dream, but because they don't have images, they think they didn't remember their dream, when they actually do. But we're trained to qualify those data sets through this very narrow bandwidth. So if it doesn't fall within this little narrow bandwidth, we just say to ourselves and then have a thought and emotion about not remembering our dream. Okay, maybe we'll even cultivate or contribute into some kind of belief we have about our relationship to our dream time. You see what I mean? So your dreams come in many different forms and many different levels, and they're not just going to be in that imagery level. It'll be a feeling. Sometimes it's a tone. Sometimes there's a color. If the more artistic you are, you really have a leg up, because then you can tune into the feeling that you have and just do a spontaneous drawing or something, or a scribble or whatever. If you're a natural poet, you can write down a few lines to encapsulate the vibe or whatever. But the more you allow yourself to the space to focus when you arise out of your dream time, the more you're going to be integrating these frequencies of your dream time, and it's going to start being able to inform your conscious mind, because you've integrated energetically here. So it integrates energetically here, and then the mind is the last one to find out. So more and more, these star seeds, these crystal children, you and me, more and more, the resources of Dreamtime is being made available to us. This is why I made that comment in that post that wow, our dream work is highly accelerated that we do in the Academy, because we cover all those bases and more. What we do in our labs is profound, and the teachings about the forgiveness practice is so essential. So there's like all these pieces that we have super highly refined within the work that we do, that we catapult very quickly into being able to connect with these other levels. And it's not it's a self-discovery thing. It's like you have the experience for yourself. It's not somebody telling you what your experience is about. People will share their input, but they're not trying to give you definition. They share their input to describe the energy that they're sensing, that they're feeling. And then because they are holding that kind of space for you, that helps you open up into that space yourself and make contact with things that maybe you normally wouldn't. Okay, so that community piece, that social piece, this is all part of us reclaiming our dream time. On a collective level, we are reclaiming our multidimensional self. And a lot of people will consider that our shamanic aspects. So the natural state for the human is what a lot of people would call shamanic. We can see into many realms at once. We can participate in many levels of reality and create magic in our here and now life. Okay, this is where we're going as a species. Okay, so we don't need to waste our time participating in the dramas of this stuff. We've graduated from that. If you let yourself, you've graduated from that. Now it's about navigating your life and creating the life that you want. What is it that you want, and show up for it. Show up for those synchronistic moments so you can be there to navigate with your actions to manifest what it is, whatever it is in your dream. Okay, we focus on what we want. That's the time right now. Right now, everybody's looking for a fight, and they're participating in a lie that there's many layers of lies, and there's no reaching them, right? So why not refocus and let yourself really dedicate your energy and your focus to what it is you want to create in this world, for yourself, for your family, for humanity. Resource from within what that is. Let your own dreams inform you and what that is. Let other people support you in recognizing and realizing what that is. Our true nature is expressed in the moment. And when we're just in it, doing it, it's so seamless and so natural. And the entire universe and our entire community is in support of us doing this. When we let go of the reins and quit taking responsibility for the reality we're creating, the guys, pumping the distraction stuff in here win. They win. When we don't claim our sovereignty and what we do to create this reality, they win, guys. So it's not about the story of right or wrong. It's about the state of being that it brings you to. So if this particular stimulation brings you to a state of being inspired and courageous and acting from your passions and truly wanting to do what you can to impact this world in a positive way, great. If it's stimulation that's pulling your energy down and making you heavy in your heart and having a lot of frustration and this and that, is that what you want? Is it teaching you something? Right? Are you done with the lesson? All those things. You could choose something else. Once you energetically unwind from all that, those entanglements, then you can really have more bandwidth, more energy for what it is you truly want. When you go to sleep at night, you are open and more clear to having those conversations with the stars. And those stars love you. Those stars are informing you. Great, really deep wisdom about the consciousness that's possible in the here and now, right here. All righty. Okay. Hello. All right. I'm gonna, I totally went on a tangent. A really long tangent. I didn't check in much with my comments. Sorry, guys. All right. Joe says the approach to relationships can be taught to shared with very young children as they live life moment to moment. This I know by personal experiences. Yeah, our kids emulate whatever we do. They really do. Their relationship to us is they really love us and they want to resonate with us and belong with us, So however we be, that's the frequency match they're going to give us. It doesn't matter what we say. This matters a little bit, but not as much. All right, dear Joanne says, yes, the labs are profound. Okay, yeah, because she's in the project too. Thank you in all of you in the Academy for providing such an amazing program for those who are ready to move into deeper awareness and consciousness. Yeah, thank you. I think everybody who's involved in the program feels that way. We get so much out of it, and we're all so grateful for what every single person brings. And it's time for us to embrace the shamanic aspects of who we are, that multidimensional self of who we are. So our reality is no longer dictated to us by belief systems and by shoulds, what you should do. The conspiracy stuff too, I'm highly suspect, and I don't buy into a lot of it. Some of it has truth. And this is the whole thing about the psyops. It always, without exception, it always weaves the truth in with lies. The deeper the truths, right? The more insipidous the lie. Okay. And a lot of it we don't even recognize because we're so used to that being a part of the package. So it's like a lot of people are talking about your inner compass and going within and all this stuff, but then they start backing up that with scripture, with with a book that's full of programming, right? they say they equate everything to God. Thank God, praise God, God loves you, the strength of God, all this stuff. And that too is a program. Because remember, the all that is presence is with you always. It's a force. It's a part of your nature. You're never without it. Okay. So it's really that's the strength of your human spirit. Your human spirit has that strength. And it's not because of something outside of you. And we equate these miracles emerging from the human spirit and creating things, and then we equate it to a God, to something that's outside of us, a he, something that we can sin against. And that's not true. It's here. This is the infinite source. Your human spirit is an infinite source that's here to impact this reality. That's why Pachamama has you here, for you to dream your dream within her realm. So it's the dream within the dream. And the more you show up and express yourself unhindered and unfettered, the more other people will do that too, right? And now that resonance will carry us all forward, and we can all reclaim the world that we want. We can all reclaim our responsibility to creating our world that we want. And the world that we want, right, is ecologically sustainable. Free energy is a part of our daily lives, right? There's no more starvation and suffering because all of the ecosystems have been regenerated and revived. Okay, those of us who are starseeds, way showers of these other frequencies, that's the kind of relationship we have with our planet. We know how to regenerate with the earth. We know that because something's dead right now doesn't mean that everything about it is dead in a week, right? We know how to regenerate dying soil. We know how to revive a sick and dying plant. We know how to revive a sick and dying person, ourselves, a baby. We know our relationship to these things, and we know that we want to show up and do that, right? And we're not afraid to do that. A lot of the people in the program they're not at all in vibe with that. They have a massive level of fear and angst, and their life force is being siphoned off in all these directions, and they're so depleted that they don't have the inner strength to self-reference until one day they do. And is it our responsibility? You have to decide that. I'm feeling right now this is a season of refocusing our energies into truly what we want and really what's important in our lives. Like, I have a vision of being in a certain in a certain living circumstance. I'm shifting my living circumstances to be in a certain way in a few months. It's like I absolutely know without a doubt that that's happening. And so now it's a matter of being present in the moment and allowing it to take the bandwidth that it needs to take. The actions I need to take falls within the bandwidth that I have to offer. So I resource myself so I can work, long days, or do more physical activity, or sort through all this stuff, or make the effort of giving all this other stuff away. You know what I mean? It's like I am giving my bandwidth to it because I want it that much. And that's the importance. And all this other stuff is optional. So know what your resourcing is. I know I'm like a broken record, keep saying it over and over again. All right. But you deserve it. You deserve to have what your birthright is, which is to be fully resourced for you to realize the dream, to make the world that you want. This is the reality of being here on this planet. it's been hijacked into these other dynamics that aren't the truth. Our dear sister Laura says, thank you. The energy of this chat is amazing. And yes, the Lightbody Dreamtime and labs have been incredible, profound in my journey to become more of what I am. I love you. Oh, thank you. I love you too. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I feel a lot of gratitude and love. Thank you, darling. Thank you. Yeah, that's the truth of it. All right. Let's see if I got to everything here. So birthing the dream time, that's going to be a default part of our reality of reclaiming our autonomy, and as master creator beings, that's part of us reclaiming all that is that dream time piece. And then we have the focus, using your setting the stage for you to focus, know what your needs are, make sure they're all met, so you have the capacity to be in charge of your focus. Okay, it might take a few days, it might take a few weeks to get yourself resourced enough again to feel the strength to be in charge of your focus. It doesn't matter how long it takes. Make the commitment that you're going to do it, and then the rest will come, right? Yes, and then that relationships piece. By us letting go of our conditions to our lower relationships, that is one of the most liberating things we can do for our beloveds. And it's a benefit that exponentially feeds itself, and it turns into a relationship where it doesn't matter the form that it's in. That you will always love each other and you will always have each other's back, even if you're not fulfilling this role or that role, or in that place or in this place. You know what I mean? It truly creates an unconditional relationship. And I guess I'm going to wrap up with that. That's my hope for you guys, is that you are able to build those relationships that are true for you, that support you, and that feed you and inspire you just as much as you feed them and inspire them. And then that beautiful sphere movement of creating together, right, gets lots of momentum, and you guys can live the life that you want. So thank you everybody for being a part of the conversation. Oh yeah, dear sister Joanne is mentioning Dr. Zach Bush, MD. I definitely check out his stuff. I started taking his ion supplements for the gut. It's amazing. It's super good. I'm giving it now to everybody in my family. They notice a difference right away. So a lot of the stress we have going on during these times, and the kind of stress our biosuits are under, my entire family is getting enormous support from doing that. And yeah, and he's got lots of information on his website if you want to check him out. All right, then we have, when I have listened to some information that is being sent to me in the past week about what is going on out there in our government and stuff, as soon as the speaker brings in the God programming, I can feel the information that they are bringing forth feels a layer of tarnished with it. I know, me too. I totally get that. Yes. And it's interesting because I feel like that's done on purpose. I really do. That's going into the AI, the ETAI stuff, but I've talked about that in other chats, and we can dive into that another time. All right. Yes. Creating your dream life, checking in the Aussie beaches, barbecues, and the family. Awesome. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here and part of this conversation. I really appreciate being in community with you guys and having the opportunity to share on these levels. I can't thank you enough. I love you. I love you. I love you. And we'll just stay connected, and we'll see you guys next time. Mwah, mwah. Bye.